This is something I only thought happened in Japan, but behind me is the hot spring, so it's naturally hot water in an enclosed area, and I walked in there and there were two naked men. We made eye contact. It was a thing. We've been on the road now for 4 days, uncovering stories that are found hidden in the mountains. As the heavy mists clear, you are presented with cultural treasures that move you from your comfort zone, gifting you with experiences that only the journey north can provide. I find a sense of peace while driving. Maybe it's the meditative aspect of focusing on one thing only for hours on end. Or maybe it's the idea that the winding roads are a conduit to endless possibilities, allowing me to discover whatever feels right at that moment. We weren't planning on going to Kalinga, but since it was so close to Sadanga, we just decided to make the detour to Buscalan. We are in a 4x2 Chevrolet Phoenix Trailblazer, but we are pretty much off-roading. Our trip north wouldn't have been possible without our car. We drove the new Chevrolet Trailblazer Phoenix 2019 over 1,000 kilometers during this whole trip, and we didn't have any issues. Powered by its 2.8-liter Duramax turbo diesel engine, it generates a best-in-class 200 horsepower, along with 500 Newton meters of torque. This was so key to get us where we needed to be, in time and safely, with its anti-lock brakes and electronic brake force distribution. The road to Buscalan suddenly stops at one point. You park your car, walk towards the registration area, find an available guide, and make the trek up to the village. So it used to be that you had to hike about 3 hours to get here, but now they've paved the road, so it takes about 30 minutes. But that doesn't mean that there aren't a lot of stairs to go up. At least we'll get to see her, pay her respects. Julius and Mon is struggling. I might have to shoot this by myself. Kaya pa? This view, something else though. It almost feels spiritual. Whew. We came from there. That's where we came from, right there. I didn't prepare them for a hike, so that's on me. Yeah. I love you, Whang-Od. I love you. I love you, Apo. Once up there, you register once more and your guides will show you their home. The tribes from Kalinga are so interesting. A long time ago, most of them were feared headhunters protecting their lands from invaders. While that's now behind us, a sense of fierce pride is still very present. The village in itself feels somewhat unreachable. Perched high up a mountain, a small footprint surrounded by nature. A throne lording over the landscape. Whang-Od has been practicing her craft using a calamansi spike, a bamboo stick, and some wet charcoal for the last 80 years, and she is one of the last ones to do so. The Spanish conquistadors in 1521 named the Philippines the Islands of the Painted Ones.
Yeah, until here.
About here, no?
No.
This was not only true in the Cordillera region, but also in some parts of Mindanao. 500 years later, due to the influence of Christianity and occupation, this practice has sadly almost disappeared. Whang-Od has since shared her art with both local and international tourists drawn by the mysticism of the symbols or wanting to feel part of a very Filipino pre-colonization custom that I personally hope gets revived. Everyone's so nice here, like all the older ladies that are fully tattooed are so like willing to show their tattoos and kind of explain them to us. It's awesome.
Pang babae, parang necklace. At sa ruby ring na siya.
Sige na siya.
Most of the designs draw inspiration from the nature surrounding the village. The men carry symbols of strength and riches, while the women don images of fertility and power.
I love this guy's heckling me. I thought that the situation here would be so much more kind of like serious and quiet, but it's really festive. Like everyone's around Whang-Od as she's tattooing, which is pretty cool. It's starting to rain, so I'm getting a little scared in terms of how we're gonna get home. So we're gonna head back down. Honestly, I knew we weren't getting a tattoo. We were number 17 in line. But I'm happy I saw it because that's all I wanted to do. Just kind of see the process. And I'm happy with that. I'm stoked. Super stoked.
Baka sabihin mo, siyang madaming anak. Ito yung madaming.
That was such a cool experience. Honestly, it was not planned at all. I was looking at where Sadanga was on the map, and I saw that Buscalan was literally right there, 30 minutes away, and I thought, you know, I'm not often in this area, and I haven't really done Kalinga, so I thought, all right, cool, let's just drop by. So that's why we had really limited time. If we had more time, honestly, I would have definitely spent overnight there, because I feel like in the 2 hours we were there, we made friends. Because everyone was so open-minded, so friendly, really just smiling and laughing, which is something in this area which is quite rare because people are quite usually reserved and quite serious. And I thought that's what it was going to be like, but no, everyone is super friendly, and they told us at night they party there, and it just felt like really good vibes. And for me, that was enough just to watch. We didn't even ask for a picture or anything because I just wanted to be there, and it felt really special. And it feels like a special place. Yes, it's popular, but it still feels very special. And I think that's important. And that's the way things should be done, because I'm sure they limit the number of people that actually come there. They control everything. Like when you're there, you understand you're under their rules and under their guidance. As the sun started setting, we made our way towards the village of Sadanga back in the mountain province. Often confused with Sagada, this village is a world apart. It has remained very local, and few tourists venture to this area. We were only able to find one homestay in the whole area.
So we're in Sadanga, finally. And the best way to sleep in these places where there's really not much is to stay in homestays. So stay at people's homes. Right now we have our amazing host, Nicole, taking care of us. I can hear the river rushing. I can see lights of houses behind me that seem to be curving up. I'm just super excited to see what it looks like tomorrow morning because we haven't seen it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's kind of like two mountains coming up with houses and then a river rushing through right in the middle.
Yes, I'm Ma'am Janet. Sorry po, we were not informed earlier about your contact.
It's fine po.
Yeah, nagkataon na I'm on seminar. Biglang may tumawag na pinaalam na nandyan kayo. Kasi actually we are only two. Dalawa lang ang registered na nag-accept ng homestay dyan. Nagkataon na...
No problem.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning, hindi
Okay.
po kami sure, pero may guide kami. Sabi niya 5:30 kasi I think we're going to the Waterfalls first. And then we're gonna go around Sadanga after in the afternoon. Sun is up. It's about 5:30 in the morning. Well, it's coming up rather. This is a room. So we're loading up now. And we're gonna meet our two guides to go towards the waterfalls. Literally could not ask for a better house to see this view. So we started the hike. It's starting to rain a little bit, so we can't take out too many cameras. So we'll just try to show you what we can. But this thing's climbing. So going first up a mountain, and then we're gonna go through some rice terraces and some smaller barangays. And these guys are all just in slippers. Here we are in full hiking gear.
and they're killing it. And one mistake, one false step. That's just a sheer drop down. I don't know if you can tell how steep this is, but I would say that's like a 50% incline. Yeah. That's almost a 50% incline. As you see, and we've been stopped a couple times walking because one, walking here is the way of life. Everyone walks kilometers per day. They used to do it when they were kids to go to school from their villages. They still do it today. To go between villages, in between all the large rice terraces. Sorry, I'm out of breath because this is pretty intense. And that's one way to communicate as well, because cell signal here is absolutely terrible. You'll see that most people have 3 phone numbers, 3 cell phones. So it's very hard to know how to contact someone. So as you kind of walk along, you pass people by, and they're the ones that kind of give you the information in terms of what we need to do. So here we're still figuring out what exactly we need to do, or who do we need to talk to see the waterfall.
Halfway through the hike, we found out that most people were deterring us to go to the waterfall because the path had recently been battered by landslides, making the trek that much more dangerous. We had already gone this far, so we decided to just register anyway and keep going.
What's the problem, one?
So the barangay captain of this mountain that we are at is like having issues with the falls because the barangay captain of that side of the mountain is owning it. So they put a gate and lock in it. So I don't know.
So that's one thing in the Cordilleras region or the mountain provinces is there are very different ways of doing things here, because you know, these are ADs, which are ancestral domains, and you're dealing with IPs, which are indigenous people, and so this is their land, not ours. So they have their own ways, their own rules and everything. So at the end of the day, that's why you need to get local guides and just kind of like respect how they do things here. And it's all part of the experience, honestly. And right on them, you know? It's their land, their people. Makes sense. So we kind of have to climb. Imagine climbing these terraces. These are actually terraces right here. But you don't see them because nature at the end of the day will persevere and take over, right? So basically going through that, all the weeds and stuff, and we can finally hear the river. So I think we're close to the waterfall.
Bruised, aching, and scratched up, we finally got a glimpse of the towering Fowa-as Falls.
That was completely worth it. 3 hours of trekking through rice paddies, jungle, and just dense forestry. You get to this incredible waterfall that has an average of 2 visitors every month, so no wonder that path is as wild as it gets in the Philippines in terms of crossing areas. But look at it, it is crazy. Even our 2 guides are excited to be here because they haven't been here in a while. There's a lot of mist, but I think I'm gonna go into the water for a little bath. It's cold! The water is so agitated, it almost looks more like a sea. And the current is crazy, it's freezing. You can really feel the power of the waterfall. This is probably one of the most pristine and beautiful environments I've seen a waterfall in. I can't believe it's in the Philippines, and it's gorgeous. I feel so alive. Oh, it's amazing. The walk back wasn't as bad, and some of the villagers were keen on showing us some of their local products.
Ito po ang base na isang produkto namin dito sa Sadanga. Nagawa dito sa mga tubo. Nagagawang mga ito tuwing November to December. 2 months to 3 months fermentation. Tsaka ito halos magkapareho. So yung vinegar na gawa din sa tubo dito sa Sadanga. Mas matagal yung fermentation po nito para maging vinegar siya.
They also mentioned one of their daily bathing customs, a hot bath where both men and women separately come together after a long day of work or walking through the fields to catch up and relax.
You know, when you hear the word hot spring, you think kind of like stone location outdoors and you can bring your bathing suit and stuff like that. Well, apparently not in Sadanga. This is something I only thought happened in Japan, but behind me is the hot spring, so it's naturally hot water in an enclosed area, and I walked in there and there were 2 naked men. We made eye contact. It was a thing. So apparently if I want to go in there, I have to take off all my clothes, which I'm willing to do. So I'm gonna go in with my GoPro because this camera can't follow in, and take a shower in some hot water, relax my legs, you know, get all the nerves out. This should help a lot. So this is a communal affair. Everyone kind of comes down and bathes at different times during the day. And yeah, I'm totally digging it. I mean, it's a great way to get clean, especially with the hot springs and all, but also just to kind of talk about people's day and get together. Like, it's better than drinking alcohol. Just got out of the shower. They say it's supposed to kind of remove all the pain from your body, and I feel absolutely amazing. It felt so good. I want one of these in my house. How do we make that happen?
While I was bathing, a mother from the village volunteered to cook us lunch as there are no eateries in the area. She wanted us to taste some of their dishes, a soup made out of cured pork mixed in with some vegetables, and some freshly made palitaw, slowly fried rice cakes topped with some sweet coconut.
As simple like that.
We're hungry. After our hike, we're greeted with some food here at the Barangay Hall. They prepared a lovely meal for us today. We have some. This is the rice wine rice, right? The leftover rice from the rice wine. Then we have like an utag soup, which is the dried beef, meat, pork, right? Pork. Yeah, dried pork. And then palitaw, lumpia, and then just veggies, fresh veggies. Perfect, that's perfect. So they're very kind to make everything for us, and I'm starving. Luto ni nanay. My favorite kind of luto. Fresh and beautiful. That's all you can want. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. That's it. 3 episodes of the Journey North. We've been here for about 5 days and it's exhausting. I definitely would have loved to add maybe 5 more days. I think 10 days in the north is enough to see everything you want to see. I'm just gonna wait for that car to pass. But at the end of the day, use whatever time you have to explore. If you have more time, then obviously use that. But it was such a great experience for us, and the Chevrolet Trailblazer Phoenix 2019 really was clutch for this trip. We had 0 issues with it and it was beautiful. If you guys haven't caught episode 1 and 2 yet, please make sure to do so because they're both up. All right, that's it. Time to head off. I'm so sad.